Okay, so I just want to do a little video here. I have another one planned as well, but this one I thought was it should be pretty quick, and it's kind of like a way for me to get this sheet out to everybody as well that I put together. Basically, there's a lot of videos on like tier lists and stuff, and while I understand them in a lot of games, and that's great, I'm a min-maxer. I always look at tier lists as well myself. I feel like there's a bit of a asterisk that's got to go on something like that. I don't believe there is one best in slot item in this game, in a sense. I just think there are way too many factors that come into play, and having a specific tier list just doesn't, it's going to vary from person to person and from situation to situation. So a lot of things that are going to factor in are what you've pulled, what you are going up against, weaknesses, elemental stuff, right? And then obviously how many stars you have on each of those weapons. There's so many varying factors that are going to come into play in those situations, that having a distinct tier list, even if you had every single weapon all maxed out, there's still going to be a ton of factors that come into play, and again, weaknesses specifically, that just kind of don't make sense. So for me personally, in this type of game, I think it's just better off to see everything, and that is why I spent way too much time with this. Originally, this is going to be just a personal little thing. I started out with the healing boost here, and basically I just listed every single weapon that had the healing boost R ability, and then just the R secondary R abilities, just to see as well, and then the healing stat for all the weapons. So these are all the different, I probably should have put character names in. I'll probably go back and edit those in, but this was basically just a way for me to see secondary weapons for the most part, since secondary weapons, or sub weapons I should say, are going to use 50% of the stats, right? 50% of your R ability stats, 50% of the actual stats on the weapon. So originally was just going to do this one, and then I have another one that was boost HP. So that's the boost HP R ability, and then its sub ability, or the secondary abilities on it, and then the stats on the weapon. And then I did another one with physical attack, and then I did another one with magic attack, and I was gonna leave it at that. And then I got carried away, and I started doing other ones. I did one with elemental stuff, all the different elements, and there are abilities, their stats. And then I did one for healing, and this was more so all the weapons that have like a heal on them, like an AoE or a single target. So then I did this, and then I kept going, and these are all the buffing weapons, whether it's physical defense up, magic defense up, whatever. Now we don't have any physical attack and magic attack up items, but I still have that category there just in case we get some weapons like that, which I would imagine we will eventually. And then we'll probably get stuff like hastes and whatever, right? So I'm just kind of leaving that there for future. And then I got into break weapons and all the different break weapons that we have available to us. And then that was starting to be a lot of work. And then I didn't see any databases for us. And so I made one. So this is every single weapon in the game, as far as I know. If there are any omissions on here, anything I missed, any mistakes I made, please feel free to correct me. You can comment on this. I think I have it set to commenter, so you can leave comments and stuff. Feel free to, or obviously in the comments down below, feel free to hit me up with any of that. But this should be every single weapon in the game, including summon weapons you get from the summon missions, as well as the currently two are they? The event weapons. So Zack's Beach Parasol, and then I believe it's Glenn's Thousand Waves. So these are all listed at max 5 white, pink, whatever color it is, stars. So again, I thought this was better to have and just have all information available to you. And that way you can kind of make the choices for yourself. So if we look at Cloud's weapons, for example, Murasame is his highest statted physical attack weapon, right? Compared to everything else, all at the same star levels and everything, not taking into account elemental stuff. There's just so many factors. And then we're not going to go super deep into that. This will be stuff for you to do on your own time, because I already spent a lot of time doing this. I don't want to do all that. But then you come into your R abilities, right? So it's going to depend on that. If you can apply a weapon that's going to give you plus, let's say physical attack. Let me just do a Control F P attack. So that's going to highlight all our physical attack ones. So some have plus 40, some have plus 27. I think there's one that's 54. So obviously you guys possibly know how the R abilities work. You have to reach a certain threshold to get the next boost, right? So like right now I'm at 42 total points, which gets me to level 5 of physical attack boost. I am 3 points off from getting to the next tier. Now, if there's no possible way for me to get to that, I can afford to even drop points. I can afford to drop, what's the math on that? 5, 6, 7 points. I can drop 7 points somewhere and put something else on, like an HP boost, that's going to get me more benefit. Because right now, the point between 35 and 45, if I don't get to 45 and I get to like 44, all those points are basically wasted, and I could put something else in that place. So again, just so many situations come in that I just don't think a tier list makes sense. And again, even when you have every single weapon, all max stars, there's still going to be factors that come into play. So I did some very, 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 very limited testing. I don't really know how to do testing too well in this game. So this is based off one singular Murasame attack and one singular attack with Murasame equipped with a water blow materia on the current event boss. So I did a little bit of math. So Murasame's Thunder Strike, I think it's called, its main attack, 750% damage. One hit with that did 25. Yeah, 2,525 damage in one hit. And then I did a couple attacks with the water blow materia at 3 stars, and that did, I got the numbers here. That did, one did 1283 plus 642, because water blow the blow materia do 2 attacks at once, so you got to add the numbers together. So that was 1925. And then the second one did 1057 and then another 1057, so there's some variance there. And then the other one was exactly the same, and that was 2114. And then to get them to the same ATB usage, because obviously Murasame's uses 4, blow materia only use 3. So for 4 attacks for the water blow, it was 7,700 on the first, the weaker one. And then the second one was 8,456. And then the Murasame was 7,575. So again, there's going to be varying factors in there, but you can see how important kind of elemental weaknesses come into play there. It would actually make more sense to use the water blow, right? Because you're going to be able to get in more attacks. Now, it would have to be in sets of 3, or sets of 3 and 4. So 3 Murasame attacks is actually worse than 4 water blow attacks. But if you could only fit in 3 water blow attacks, well, then Murasame is going to end up being better. So there's so many factors that come into play. I wish I had the Maritime Sword, because it's got lower physical attack stat on it, but it does 750%, and I believe water blows only do like 220%. So I'd be curious to see how much Maritime Sword did with the water attack versus Murasame on a non lightning weak monster, right? So there's just so many factors. So I wanted to put this this sheet together for you guys. I'm going to try and keep it updated every time we get new weapons. I'll add them to the list. But again, if there's anything I'm missing, feel free to let me know. But yeah, I don't personally think in a game like this, sure, in other games where things are a lot more black and white and just there's not as much variance, tier lists are great. But in a game like this, there's just so many factors. And again, one of the biggest factors is going to be what you've pulled. Yeah, Murasame might be the best physical stat weapon for Cloud, but if you haven't pulled it, that doesn't matter to you. That doesn't matter at all. You might have Butterfly Edge. That's 561. That's his second best physical attack weapon. That's going to be your best in slot, right? So there's just so many factors. Now it does give you something to aim for, obviously, right? If there is, you absolutely want the highest attack stat weapon, you can put that in your wish list. So when you're pulling, you can potentially get that and work from there. But I think this is very important to just have more information. So again, I've used this to kind of figure out what I'm using for my characters. So for me, right now, I am using Murasame on Cloud, and then Hard Edge, because I don't have a breaker, I don't have Zack's Cutlass at the moment. When I get Zack's Cutlass, I'm going to put that on him probably, and then might put Iron Blade on Cloud, which I also don't have. So Iron Blade is, I think it's attack down to the entire team, enemy team. So I might do that just so I have some different stuff for different situations. But then again, you run into a boss that can't have their defense decreased, then Hard Edge and Cutlass kind of aren't that useful, right? So there's just so many factors that come into play. It's something you have to figure out on your own and how to properly build. Again, I'm just basing these items currently off of our abilities and stats that I want. So Butterfly Edge is going to be my HP item, and then Broadsword Axis is going to be a physical attack. It's also got boost lightning potential. But at the levels they're at right now, I'm probably not in significant spots, and I could swap them out in min-max, but I'm going to wait until I level these weapons up. But I based all of this off of completely maxed out weapons. So if I ever get to that point, these will be what I want in those slots, and then I'll kind of adjust based on our ability stuff later. But yeah, so many factors come into play, and you guys couldn't see any of that. But again, it was just these weapons are kind of what I'm going for. I have the weapons that I'm basically are going to be locked in again, that are the max at max level, are what I think are potentially best in slot for me personally, and what I'm aiming for, especially as a free-to-play player. I don't want to invest a ton of resources into, for example, the parasol that we got from the event. Yeah, we get it to max pink stars, but if you look on the sheet, parasol's stats are actually kind of not so great, which I guess we kind of have to expect from a free weapon, right? So at max pink stars here at level 90, it's only giving us 376. We won't look at all the stats, but it's only giving us 376 physical attack. Compared to other weapons, it's a lot less. But I don't know at what point they're gonna break away from each other. So like, I don't know if, let's say, Zweihander, I don't know what level and what star levels Zweihander would have to be to exceed this and become better than that in this slot. So again, there's so many factors. It all depends on what you have, what you've pulled, what you've leveled up, what characters you're using, all that. So again, I don't personally think a tier list is the way to go. I would rather have all the information in front of me so I can make decisions based on what I have. So again, that's why I put this together. But yeah, I thought I'd share that so you guys can make your own decisions. Let me know what you think. Do you agree with that? Do you disagree with that? I'd be curious to see what other people feel. And again, I think it's specific to this game just because, again, there's so much variation and so many factors that come into play that change things up. But yeah, wanted to share this with you guys. I will link this down below. Feel free to look at it, use it. Hopefully it's beneficial to you because I've spent a lot of time, probably more time than I should have, putting all these in. But from now, I doubt they're going to be adding tons of weapons at a time, so it'll be a lot easier to keep up with it. And I won't have to spend 15 hours sitting here typing all this stuff. But yeah, let me know if it helps you out. And yeah, hopefully it does something for you guys. Hopefully you can get some benefit out of it and kind of figure out what's good for you. If there's other categories as well, like the specific healing boost ones, HP, whatever, if there's anything specific you want to see on here, let me know, and I'll try and add that on. But yeah, that's going to do it for this. Thank you for watching. Hopefully it helps. I'll catch you next time.